ready?
I'm ready, man.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. And as promised, I have a guest today, someone who has helped an enormous amount, provided guidance, advice, support, getting this podcast off the ground, actually helped me with the idea of getting it done. Someone I've known since we were both very young, childhood and ended up going to college together. My homie, little cousin, Kelvin Spencer.
Yes, what E40 say? Known each other knee high to a flea.
Knee high. Exactly.
Many moons, as he would say.
Many moons.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, most definitely.
Appreciate it.
My brother.
It's been a little while coming, but we've been moving towards this, getting it moving. So thank you.
Yeah, come on, man.
Tell the guests, a little bit about yourself.
As mysterious as I can be, and still stay mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Kelvin Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know me as Twin.
Twin.
Yep. And with the Southern University.
Yep.
Sid was the very first dude I walked on the yard with on my first day. I just told that story last night. I was talking about that.
Yep.
My very first day on the yard with an LA mentality. We walking down the strip, and a dude walked by and he say, "What's up?" And I'm like, "What's up?" Like,
right.
"What's up?"
Right.
And you was like, "Hey, man, you're not at home no more."
Yeah.
You're not at home.
Yeah.
He just speaking.
Right.
And at that moment, I had to change who I was because I came with a strict LA mentality, like anybody can get it.
And we in college.
Like,
right.
Yep.
Right.
We in college.
We're in different phase of our life.
Yep. You was already there.
And trying to do something different.
Yep. Changing our stars.
I got a funny story with this. The Chateau de Chevron. Oh man, let me tell you how dirty and grimy we were with this. We were downright dirty with this. Mm-hmm. Moving to this apartment, I actually think the apartment was illegal.
It was. I had extension cords.
One apartment didn't have electricity in it, so I ran an extension cord from one apartment to the other.
Yep.
Plugged in a light and a hot plate.
Yep.
I think I had no shirt on, some shorts, a do-rag around my head, sitting outside because it was hot, no air conditioning.
Yep.
But we were trying to get it. We were trying to get the education.
Yep. We was getting it.
We were getting it.
We was getting it the best way we know how.
Hey, no excuses.
Yep.
Nothing to stop us.
And Shabazio was your roommate.
Shabazz was the roommate. Ethy and Mike next door.
Next door.
Shout out to Ethy and Mike Bland.
Yep.
And we made it happen.
Yeah.
Like I say, we grinded it out, and little by little, we improved, moved to a better apartment, better part of town.
Yep.
Got a little spoiled, got cable.
Yep.
And but we ended up doing what we meant to do going down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we met some lifelong friends.
Yep.
But it expanded our idea of what the world was.
Absolutely. Our bubble got bigger.
Right.
And nowadays, in this stage of our life, our bubble is the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got cats from Chicago, Detroit, New York, Houston.
Yep. Texas. Tennessee. Everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Atlanta.
You think it was a good idea that we went to Southern?
Best thing that happened to me.
Got out of LA?
Best thing that ever happened for me.
Yeah.
Literally the best thing. If I didn't go to a Southern, I was either gonna be in jail or dead.
Okay.
So it's the best thing that happened for me.
Yeah.
Yep. It was one of the best things that happened from going to Southern.
I know I initially needed it for a change right after the Hammer stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm moving around LA and everybody's asking me, are you doing more music? What's up with you and Hammer? And I'm like, no, I think that pretty much is over. But I still had this idea of how do I get a business going, and what am I going to do, and how do I achieve it, and how do I get there?
You was, as they say, pivoting.
I had to pivot. And doing all that, you and Kelvin came down.
Yep, and then Chris followed after that.
And then Chris came.
Yep.
And we had our little bubble.
Yeah. I mean, I tell anybody, man. I tell my kids, I tell anybody, go to a HBCU.
HBCU life is unlike anything. Man. Shout out to Southern University.
Yep.
Southern University Law Center. We just had Bayou Classic.
Yep.
This past weekend, and
50th
anniversary
of
the Bayou Classic. It's going strong. It was great. It was awesome. Southern beat Jaguar.
The most important thing,
Southern beat Grambling.
Exactly.
But we ended up seeing classmates, and we saw the homies that we hadn't seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing well. Everybody was asking about you and your brother.
Yeah. I'm going next year. Next year. I'm taking my daughters.
Okay.
Yep.
It's nothing like the feeling of seeing your friends from college at a HBCU after years.
Yeah.
And you pick up right where you left off.
Yep, as if you never stopped talking to them.
Right.
As if you just seen them yesterday and everything.
Right. And it's funny, some of the conversations we had were, man, remember back when? And you're like, the daiquiri shop.
Yeah, Daiquiri Cafe.
And we had no idea the gold mine we had on our hands at the daiquiri shop. Managing and running a daiquiri shop with video poker.
Yep.
Oh man! And they gave us the keys and turned the whole business over to us.
Yeah.
And didn't understand. We were learning entrepreneurship
during that time.
Doing that. But in looking back, I guess the question I'll ask you is, part and parcel to the show is, what have you learned since those days at Southern on Baton Rouge campus?
A few things I learned. How we was just talking a little earlier when we were talking about grace and patience and evolution.
Yeah.
I will add a couple other words in there. I learned what value is. Then I didn't know the value of who I am, or the time and space I was in, right? I didn't, you young, so you're a kid, so you don't really know, like, hey, these are the things that will actually, like, these were little, and I tell people all the time, these are little pieces to a bigger puzzle. Right? Yeah. And all those little pieces were being put in place for this bigger puzzle that we creating, that I end up creating in life today.
Yeah.
So, I was a kid, man, and I ended up having a kid.
Right.
While I was there.
Yeah.
And, matter of fact, you was the first dude. Matter of fact, I was in my history final, and you came and knocked on the window and was like, you had a boy. And I was like, what?
Yep.
And I came out, he was like, man, you got a boy. And I'm like, oh, snaps, that's dope. Right? And it like that.
My sister was with her.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was one of those deals where I was like, oh, snap, because what? Celeste called, or your sister called you.
Right.
And then you came and found me. Right. In the history building and was like, yo, you got a boy.
Yep, you a dad.
Yeah. And, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And I was like, so all those moments I learned, like, yo, I didn't, as they say in The Color Purple, sometimes you got to recognize the color purple, right? And how I take that saying was, I wasn't at that time living in the moment of where I was at.
Okay.
Versus, where I was going.
Okay.
So I didn't take the time. I didn't fully appreciate all those blessings and all the gifts that was being presented to me.
What do you think at Southern that you probably just glazed over and didn't stop and appreciate? Is there anything or a phase during
the relationships that I was able to build during that time?
Yeah.
The relationships, like I end up really appreciating them as years have like passed and came. I really was like, man, I was able to appreciate those people even more than I was even in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, so it was one of those deals where I'm like, man, remember when we was just like broke college students at the, for lack of better words, just thugging it out. Like, you know, people was like, oh, they cooking over here. All we gotta do is bring what? All right, cool.
Potluck.
Yeah.
Potluck,
you know, and
man.
we'll sit around and like people just come with like little ingredients for a big old meal for that night and things of that nature. And, you know, just figuring it out, man, as we was going. But it was like one of the greatest experiences I ever had, because that was my first taste of Wakanda. If I would say that was my first taste of Wakanda. Like, yo, my teachers, professors was black.
Yeah.
The people I was in school with was black. You know, everything was black, from Miss Leary, my psychology teacher, to Miss Johnson, my English teacher, Mr. Belanger, the history teacher. You know, like being in TTLA and just Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays were the best days.
Man, TTLA.
Yeah.
Oh, TTLA was the hub.
Yeah, it was the epicenter.
The epicenter.
Of everything.
Let me ask you this. What do you think life at Southern University would have been like had we had cell phones and social media?
No. It would have been a gang of people dropping out of school.
Oh, man.
It would have been a gang of people dropping out of school. And people would have been in trouble.
Yeah. We were there at the tail end of when Freaknik.
Yeah.
Freaknik was dying out.
And I went to Freaknik a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bunch of phone calls like, hey, am I going to see you on any video footage of Freaknik?
Right.
No.
That documentary about Freaknik.
Yeah, no. I was standing next to a dude recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the, lack of a better word, impact or effect social media and cell phones has had?
So there's a plus and a negative to social media and cell phones.
Okay.
The plus is to social media and cell phones is you can get the information immediately around the world.
Okay.
Right? Something can happen here in Los Angeles. 2 minutes later, they got it in Africa. They got it in Ghana.
Right.
You know, so the information can spread faster. But the negative is the information can spread faster.
Right.
So most people don't understand the power
And it's constant.
that they have with that cell phone in their hand. That it's really not. It's a computer that can actually take phone calls and, you know, things of that nature. But you know, most people don't understand the power until it's too late, and they probably done something they're gonna regret, or said something that they can't take back.
Okay.
And it's forever out there in the media, in the ether, that someone can always pull up and use against them later.
And I asked that question just recently, myself being a high school English teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. And observing, watching, and attempting to encourage the high school students now. And I kept asking the question over and over and over again, what are you interested in? What motivates you? What do you like? What do you think about? What do you dream about? What would you right now say to teenage Kelvin?
I try to live my life with no regrets, right? So I would have gave myself a little bit more grace than I've given myself
Okay.
during those times, right? And I would have told teenage Kelvin, like, yo, consistency is everything. Consistency and time management is everything.
Time, yeah.
Like managing my time. I tell people nowadays, you got to manage your 24. And managing your 24 hours in your day, you know how many hours you need to sleep. You know how many hours it's going to take for you to be at work. You know how long it's going to take you to get to and from work.
Okay.
And in between that, those times right there, you got a small window that most people just let go by. They don't utilize it the right way. So manage your 24. And if you manage your 24 right, you can propel yourself to the next level and the next level.
And what about your world and your vision, like dreams?
My world and vision became a whole lot better when I realized LA or California is barely a crumb on the map.
Okay.
Right? When I started traveling more, going out the country, seeing how other cultures and people live, and understanding their culture and their religious backgrounds and things of that nature, it helped me see a whole lot clearly in how to have patience and understanding with people, and like, yo, we don't have it bad here.
Yeah.
You know, but we also it's a very small window here.
Okay.
So, but I believe everyone needs to travel. Everybody needs to go out the country. You need to go to Africa, Europe. You need to go to Dubai and go to Bali and all those different places in the world. China, go all over the world, man. Because when I went to all those places,
yeah,
the world just said, poof.
Opened up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it opened up.
Well, do me a favor. I want you to agree on camera. I want you to come back. Let's do some more.
Most definitely. I'll be back. Yeah,
Okay.
let's make it happen.
We have a lot more to jump into. Definitely more Southern University stuff to go
Yeah,
over.
definitely.
Skate party,
Yeah, all that.
chapel party,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
My man.
Hey, I knew I could count on you.
Yeah, I got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with another episode. This has been one of the best episodes I've had. I'm so thankful, Mr. Kelvin Spencer.
Sydney Hollis.
Thank you very much. And this is Letters to Younger Me. Peace out.